Okay, we are live for another fun-filled, exciting demo. I don't know how exciting it is, but I'm always happy to do it. All right, let's see. Hey, Tammy. Okay, I see people are just starting to come in, and then we'll get started. All right. Okay, so today we're doing the Kumo, Kumihimo Fusion Necklace. It was a kit that I had made available several weeks back, and I'm finally getting around to doing the demo for it. It's been a real trying time the last, I'd say, maybe 6 weeks, something like that, and it's far from over. Um, yeah, Tammy, Dad's he's doing okay. He's in a rehab facility right now. He was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and he needs to regain some strength before he can go back to his assisted living place. He's pretty uh, frustrated with the whole situation, and it's hard for him. It's hard for him to be confined the way he is, and it's just a tough fact of life when people reach a I don't know, a big age. He's 97, almost 98. So, it's tough. It's tough. So, anyway, it's been a struggle for me also because I go over there every day to stay with him for a while because, my God, it has to be terribly lonely for him. So, it's just been kind of rough. And I try to do my stuff here as often as I can just to kind of keep my sanity. Uh, I'm so grateful that I have something like this to do. So, but sometimes, like this past weekend, it was pretty tough. I didn't want to get off the couch. So, but I feel more back in the swing little by little. So it just takes a toll on you emotionally. So, I see more people have joined in. Hey, Carol. Hi, Susan. Hey, Deb. Okay. Yeah, let me know if that works watching it on your iPad, if it's any better for you, Deb. Yeah, it's thank you very much, Tammy. It's just hard. So I'm gonna I always tell my husband that we're gonna do a Thelma and Louise, if you've seen that movie, where they're trying to escape the law, but they decide it's not going to work out well for them, and they drive their car over the Grand Canyon. So that's what I tell my husband we're going to do. When we get that old and decrepit, we're taking a ride to Arizona. So just hope we can do it. Okay. All right. So for those of you that bought kits, I don't know if you watched the previous Kumihimo demo that I did a few weeks ago with the silver necklace. The process is exactly this. Well, I wouldn't say exactly, but pretty much um, the same as doing the silver one, only we're working with 4 colors of beads on these kits or on the fusion kit, and it's not going to be as long. So if you haven't watched the silver necklace demo, you need to do that if you haven't made your Kumihimo necklace or are not familiar. But I think most of you that bought that kit already know how to do some Kumihimo. So What I did, the only difference when you set up the disc, you have your 4 cords that you've loaded your beads on. You're going to put each one of your cords on this particular necklace is a different color bead. You have 4 color beads and you have 4 strands, so you'll put one color on each strand, and then set up your disc the same way. It doesn't matter what orientation you put those strings on. It's just going to come out a scattered pattern like this is, and so that's not hard at all. And I do have a handout that I will post when we're done that kind of explains that a little bit further for you. So I would strongly encourage you to watch that other video, and uh, then you can do your necklace. If you have already started working on it, what I did was I made a section of the Kumihimo 18 inches long. Okay, it's 18 inches long. And then I put my cones on each end. The same method that's in the other demo. Well, damn, I just see that I skipped a bead. Well, holy hell. Okay, well, I didn't see that before, but this is, I don't know if you can see this or not. Right, maybe it's a little bit too close, but right here is where I missed a bead. So, boogers. Okay, you guys are having problems? I've had a green screen pop up a couple of times. And it happened in my demo, the last one that I did. But when I did the replay, I replayed it to see how it would look because I was just sure the video was ruined. Um, I replayed it and I didn't see any interruption at all. So I don't know what's going on. That's green again, just momentarily. Okay, it's fine now? Okay, good. Yeah, sometimes, and I think you said it before, Tammy, when if you're having trouble with your reception, not being able to see the demo, uh, just get out of the group page and then come back in, and generally that's enough to fix it. So that's about all I can recommend at this point. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep on going. We'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so I've got my 18 inches of the Kumihimo ready to go. And then I've got all my little doodads to make this chain. And if you know how to do the wire wrap loop and stuff, you may not need any assistance on this. But since I did the kits, I thought I should follow through and make sure that you all know where to go on this one. Okay, so in your kit, I'm going to move the camera down. Hopefully we'll be able to see this okay. I tried to raise up my work surface a little bit so that you might get a little closer view of what I'm doing. Let me see if that's better. Yeah, that might be better there. Okay. Let me see if I can come down a little bit more, if that helps. Yeah, so like I've said before, since I don't have a close-up camera, this is the best probably that I can do with a cell phone camera. Okay, so in your kit, you got a bunch of pins. These are silver plate 3-inch head pins, and I'm just using those because it was easy to make kits with these. If you care to do this, like if you're going to make future ones and you want to do it in sterling, I'd say go right ahead. Your expense is going to be a lot more to get the 3-inch head pins and to buy sterling cones, but it's certainly doable if you want to do that. Okay, so there's your head pins, and then this was the contents of the little bead packet. And then there's another little packet with the jump rings in here. There's one larger ring here that's going to be for the little focal. Okay, so those are all the little parts and pieces that we're going to use, and we're going to use a round nose pliers, a chain nose pliers, a flat nose plier, and a flush wire cutter. Well, Tammy, maybe we need a little one-on-one. I think you should be able to do it. You can do so many other things. I don't know why you cannot do that. I don't believe it for a minute. Okay. All right. So let me put my close-up glasses on, and I'm kind of going to work off of my sample because I forget. I forget a lot what I'm doing anymore. All right. So we've got some real pretty check hibiscus flower beads in here. And originally when I made this kit, or this particular bracelet, or necklace, I mean, I didn't have the red, little tiny red seed beads. And I really like that. I think they'd give a nice little color pop to this. So I'm using the turquoise or teal color. I guess it's more of a teal color. Flowers, a little red flower, and some other little doodads in here. Plus those little tube beads that I love so much. I'm just going to take a head pin. A lot of times I buy these head pins in bulk, and a lot of times they come out a little bit crooked, but it doesn't matter. They will do the job. So you just have to straighten them out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make a series of little units. I'll call them units just to be, so everybody's on the same page. And I'm going to take a small, I think this is an 8/0. That's debatable. This is one of these in-between sizes, I think. But let's just say it's an 8/0 bead. It's something that's in your kit. Then I'll take a 6 and another 8. And I'll thread on one of my hibiscus flowers on here. And then I'm going to do the same pattern on the other end. An 8, a 6. Well, let's keep it the same color. A 6 and then an 8. So that'll be one unit right here. Okay. We'll do that, and then we'll do a tube bead. And this is just going to be just straight up tube bead. All right, I'm going to put a little 8/0 bead on there, a tube, and then another little 8/0. That's going to be another unit right there. And then I'm going to do just a single seed bead. And this will be a 6/0. I think I'll do a little 8/0, 6/0, and 8/0 for that. So basically those are the 3 units that I'm going to rotate. And then I'm going to do a wire wrapped loop on each end. Now, let's see here. I'm going to take one end, I can't tell you, maybe about an inch down on the wire, and put my round nose pliers in there, and then just bend that over, rotate my plier, and then push that short piece of wire over and down in front, and then rotate the plier back, and then take that short piece of wire and then move it underneath the pliers. So now I have a little loop right here, the beginnings of a loop. And then I'm going to grab that loop with my round nose plier, put this in my non-dominant hand, and grab my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to pull this short piece of wire with the chain nose pliers down around the base of that loop. Just turn it down, bring it around, and I generally go around 2 full wraps, and then I'm going to cut that little nib off. And if there's a little piece sticking up, which there generally is where you cut it off, then I'm just going to push that down a little bit with my pliers. Now, I'm going to turn the head pin over. I'm going to cut off the head pin, or the head of the head pin. And the 3-inch head pins are great for this size of a little unit here. It's a little overkill for the smaller ones, but just to keep everything easy, you know, I just went with the 3-inch head pins. They're not all that expensive, so it's not a big deal. If you're working with fine silver or sterling silver, that would be a little bit more costly. All right, so on the other end here, I'm going to put my round nose pliers directly on top of that bead, that 8/0 bead. I don't want any space there. I'm just putting it directly on top of the bead. I'm going to push that wire to the back, roll my plier over, and then push my wire in front. Roll my plier over again, and push that wire back. And then grab the loop, change hands, grab my chain nose pliers, the tip of the wire and the tip of the plier, and wrap that wire, the short wire, around the long wire a couple of times. If you still have space between the wire and the bead, you can go an extra wrap. You just want the wire to meet up with the bead, and then cut off that little nub. And press that down, the little extra piece that's sticking out, the wire. It's hard to cut the wire exactly flush when you're cutting it off. It would be easy to cut your bead or smash your bead. I see that we're going in and out with that. I don't know. I get a green screen. I don't know about you guys, but I get a green screen when it momentarily goes off. But then it comes right back on. So that's one unit right here, if you can see that, hopefully. All right, so the thing that's neat about this kind of jewelry making is that you can make all your components, and then you decide, you know, how you want to connect everything, or how you want it to look. And then I connect them all with jump rings. So if you decide, you know, you didn't like it one way, you can change it, because you're not committed. Say if you were bead stringing and you had it all on one wire or one thread or whatever, this way, by having little individual components hooked together with jump rings, you can change it however you like, if you like to do that. Yeah, the loops, you know, this comes from many thousands, and I'm not kidding, I mean many thousands of wire wrap loops that I've made. They're not all perfect. Some of them are better than others. You can kind of fix them up a little bit. If they're not quite round, you can kind of manipulate them a little bit. But practice makes perfect. And, if I'm going too fast on this wrapping, I apologize. It's just hard for me to slow it down too much. But I've said it before, but for those who haven't um, seen my demos or didn't know about all of them, on my YouTube channel, I have a short demo on how to make this wire wrap loop. And that's all it's about, is just making this loop. And you can find that on my YouTube channel, and you can play it and replay it, stop and rewind it and replay it and work along with it, so that that you understand the steps, and your loops will come out great. There are other ways that I've seen people make their loops, but this is the original way that I figured out how to do this. Um, it might be more tedious than some people think it needs to be, but it's the way I learned it, and it's like I can't unlearn it. So, if you want to do it this way, it's fine. Or if you want to take somebody else's advice for, how to make those loops, go for it. But it's really not as difficult as you might think. But this little skill in itself is a great thing to learn, because it's used so much. At least in my work, it's used a ton. I like to make a lot of little dangles and things, and having these loops just makes it so much easier to do that. And I like a nice, neat loop. There are what some people call messy loops. That's a thing. They're wrapped a little more loosely, and maybe there's more wire around that. It's just really whatever kind of look you're going for. I just like a nice, uniform, neat look on my stuff. So, all right. So that's the first one. That's the first little unit there. And then, let me get my eyes back on. And then I'll do the tube one. It's the same thing. I'm going to go down about an inch on the wire. It could be more. There's a lot of waste on these smaller sections, but it works. It works. So the other thing is, I would suggest that you get yourself a decent pair of, pairs of chain nose, round nose, and flat nose pliers. Don't buy the real cheapy ones unless that's all you can afford. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way or anything. People, need to work with whatever they can afford. But if you make a little bit more knowledgeable, I guess that's really what I want to say. It's just a matter of knowing what stuff to buy. If you're a beginner and you've never done this kind of thing before, and you go to the craft stores and you see all the different things that are available to purchase, and you don't know one thing really from another, or what to look for in a product, it's easy to buy the wrong thing. And I'm saying that from experience, because when I first started out, that's exactly how many of us start out. You really don't know unless you have learned from somebody, and they've shown you what they use. More than likely, if this is a thing that you're going to stick with, um, you're going to spend more money than you really needed to, because you didn't know. I didn't know when I bought the things. I just saw people using certain tools, and I thought, well, this looks like that, and then find out later that maybe that wasn't such a good purchase. You find other things. So that's another part of my purpose in doing this group, is to not necessarily tell you how to do things, like how you should do it my way. I don't mean it that way, but what I mean is that maybe learn from some of the mistakes I've made, and maybe you can save yourself some money and aggravation, because um, I've spent a lot of money, wasted a lot of money, put it that way, because I didn't know. So if I can spare you that, I'm happy to do that. So, and I still make mistakes. You just do, that's just part of living. But I like to pass on the things that I like, that I know work well for me, and just keep going along. And I wear my stupid little cheaters on top of my glasses, because I've tried all the other ones that are available as well, and these always seem to work the best for me. All right, so let's see if I can line us back up here so that you can see what the heck I'm doing. And all right, so I did the one loop on the end of the tube bead, and then I'm going to cut off the head on this side of the head pin. Always keep your finger covered over your cutters, so that those little bits of metal don't go flying in the air. They can get they can project pretty far off of the working area. And if you're all by yourself and you don't care, that's fine, I suppose, unless you go walking around barefoot and then you step on the sharp pieces. But if you're working with other people, especially, you want to make sure that you're keeping those pieces uh, from flying, from becoming airborne. All right, so I'm going to do my little tube here. And always remember, put your pliers, the tip of the wire in the tip of the plier, and pull it down around the base of the loop, as tight, as close to the base of the loop as you can get, and wrap around. Keep your wraps close together, not overlapping, just lined up next to it until you reach the bead, until you fill that space with your wire. Cut off your little excess there, and then push down. Carefully, you want to push down that little piece of wire that sticks out so that you don't crush that bead that's next to it. If you crush the bead, then this little thing is going to go flopping all over and you won't be happy. You'll have to just remake it. Okay, so that's another one. So that's two. And then we'll do the 8, the size 8, the 6, size 6, and another size 8. And start at the top here and make your loop for one end. Are you guys seeing the broadcast flash on and off occasionally? Do you get a green screen just momentarily, or am I on there without that happening on your end? Because it looks to me like it's getting interrupted, but like I said, that happened to me on the last broadcast, and then when I replayed it, I didn't see any of those green screen issues. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to cut this side over and then go right up with my round nose pliers again, right at the base of the top of the bead. Tip of the wire, tip of the plier, and pull the wire around the base of the loop. It's very repetitive, but if you kind of make that a little mantra in your head, um, you will do them right. Okay. straighten them out. Push that little wire, that little stub in there, because you don't want little parts sticking out and potentially stabbing you. All right. Hey, Marianne. Okay, no green screen. That's good. Good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't understand what's going on with these things. My family knows not to be on the internet while I'm doing this. I can't verify it because I'm not near them, but I'm hoping they respect my wishes, but who knows. All right. So then I'm going to just connect. I'll just connect this little section that I've done so far. I'm going to connect the jump rings. I think these are a 4mm jump ring. Just connect it to the end cone. I think in the kits I stuck in a lobster claw, but really for this necklace I didn't really need to do that. So we've got a little cheapy lobster clasp. Hooray! Okay, so I've got my one little unit on here. Connect. That's the thing, like I said before, I love being able to connect things this way because they're not permanent in case you wanted to change your mind and do it a different way. All right, now I think, and I can't remember. I'm thinking that there was a red flower in your kits, not all turquoise. At least I hope that there's a red one in your kit. Just because I ended up putting the red seed beads in these kits. So I just thought that that would be a nice little pop of color in the kit. So hopefully I did that because I can't tell you what I've done and what I haven't done sometimes. It's just that bad. All right. All right. So I will put on the red one now. So I'm just going to grab an 8/0 and a 6/0 and another 8/0 and then my red flower and an 8/0, 6/0 and 8/0 again. Actually, change the color a little bit. All right. And there again, go down about an inch, do your wrap. Honest to Pete, I could do these in my sleep, I think. I've done them so many times. But I like to work with components, so, changeable. And you know how I like my little dangles, my dingle dangles on stuff. Turn that over, cut off the head of that pin. The Kumihimo part is the one that takes the longest. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. The necklace took quite a while to accomplish. But if you do a bracelet, once you have your beads all strung and everything set up on the loom, it takes about an hour to get a 7 or 8 inch bracelet done. It's actually pretty quick doing a bracelet in comparison. If you started off doing the necklace as your first project and then you go to make a bracelet, you're going to be amazed how quickly that gets done. Back here. Okay. All right. Snip off that little part. Straighten out my loops just a little bit, and then connect the two. Connect these parts together, and kind of try to not use your round nose pliers to open and close jump rings, because you will dent your metal. Whatever metal you're using, you will dent it. You need to have a flat plier. You can either use the flat nose, which is the wider one here, or a chain nose, but they both have flat surfaces inside, so you won't mar your metal like you would if you use the rounded pliers. So try to refrain from doing that. All right, and we're going to do now this again. This necklace was just kind of like a little brainchild of mine. So I was going for, and I'll put it on later on. I was going for a particular length. I don't want them too long. I don't like them too short because of my fat neck. So I guess my point is you can make it, the chain part of it, as long as you like. I don't think it makes any difference. I mean, I followed just 18 inches because I liked where this hit me for the 18 inches on the Kumihimo part, but the chain could be longer if you wanted. It just depends on where you want it to fall. All right, so we'll do another one of these. And same here. This will just be a couple more units, and then we'll make the little focal part of the necklace. I know watching me do this is probably like watching paint dry. I've said that before. Some of this stuff is kind of boring, but they're all necessary steps to achieve really nice wraps. When I mentioned about walking barefoot, I never walk barefoot in here. My grandson and my daughter even come down here sometimes, and I've warned them countless times that there could be all kinds of little sharp things on the floor at different places. I'm not the best about sweeping everything up like after I work each time. It's not that's not going to happen. So, but they still insist on doing it. So I figure at this point, I guess if they get anything in their feet, it's on them. So they've been warned. They've been duly warned. God, I love these little tube beads. I don't know why. I just got hooked on these things. I love them. All right. Whoop. It's actually best when you're opening and closing jump rings if you had two pairs of flat nose pliers, opposed to using one flat nose and one chain nose, because you can slip off of the chain nose easier. But if that's all you can manage, then that's fine. It's just a matter of what you want to do. All right, let's see here. I'm going to get this other one here. All right. I have something else I want to show you before we're done with today. Something else that I've got planned in the works. It's not completely figured out. Actually, it's not at all figured out, but I found a product that I really like, and I don't think I can incorporate it into any kind of jewelry making thing, but as a mixed media thing, I think it would be kind of fun. So I'll show you that stuff at the end of this. And you can give me your thoughts on that. Plus, I posted earlier those earrings that I made with the tube beads and the little kind of chevron pattern. I think you'd call it a chevron pattern that I kind of like a lot. I think it goes well. But I had made those because it was another thing to try to use the tube beads on, and then I got to thinking they would really look nice with the memory wire bangles we made a while back. So I went ahead and made a pair in copper the other day, but this morning when I was thinking about it, I went ahead and made a pair in silver, and I really like them. I have them on. I'll show them to you in a little bit. If you didn't see the post in the group page a little while ago. All right, hook this together. All right. If anybody has any questions, please ask away. I think, how much of this did I have on this other one? I have one more flower to go and one more little thing, and then we'll make the pendant. The little doodad part. All right. Yeah, between the tube beads and these hibiscus flowers, I've bought a ton of those, and I've just been finding a lot of different ways. I've just been finding a lot of different ways to use them. I've just really been enjoying them, but I just hope I don't burn you guys out of these. Oh my God, she's working with tube beads and flowers again. But it's just a phase I'm going through, and then I'll be on to something else, as I usually do. I haven't worked on glass in like forever. I need to get back to doing some of that because I miss it. But with all the stuff going on with my dad, I really haven't had time to do much anyway. But I do try to do something most days, even if it's just a tiny little thing, just to kind of keep me grounded, I guess. It calms me down. All right. Man, this thing is really flipping in and out. So I'll post it to YouTube later. And if you want to catch the replay, hopefully it'll be better than this has been. And plus, you can blow past all the areas where it gets like too tedious. You can just see the important parts. That's one of the nice things about watching the replays, is you can just kind of scroll past the areas that you really don't need to see, and then get to the parts where it's good, beneficial for you. All right, let's see here. One more, and then the pendant, I think. Well, I lied. I guess I have one more tube to do too. Yeah, the tube beads, I have been fairly successful finding them on Etsy. Um, to get a good variety of them, though, it's like you got to buy a lot of different strands, uh, which can add up. But hence, making the kits makes it more affordable for me to be able to do this stuff. So that way, stuff doesn't go to use or go to waste, and I can do the things that I want to do, and you guys get kits that you don't have to go hunting around for everything. That's part of the beauty of buying kits, is that you don't have to buy the gazillion strands of things that you need. You just get what you need for that project. Because let's face it, a lot of times you buy stuff because you think you're going to love it, and so you buy a lot of stuff, and then you find out after you've done it a few times, it's like, you could take it or leave it, and then you've got all this stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if that happens to you, but it happens to me a lot of times. So, all right. I'm just flapping my gums here, so hopefully I'm not boring you to tears. All right. Oh, cut that one too short. I have my first show next month, about mid-July. I've done absolutely nothing for it. However, I have a lot of stock left over. I mean, to be honest, I would like to say, oh, I sell out all the time, but that's not true. I always have a lot of extra things that can kind of tide me over if I need stuff, but it sure would be nice to sell out every show you do. But either you know either I'm not in the real world. I mean, there's so much competition in jewelry making and selling that it's hard sometimes to find a niche where, I guess I didn't do this one the same way, where you do different stuff than other people and your stuff is more desirable because it's different. Um, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here. Yeah. Yeah, Donna. I mean, I just carry stuff over, over the years. It's like there are some things that you like so much and you think that it would sell and it doesn't sell, and some piece that you made and you really didn't like it all that well, that's like the first thing that sells. And it's like there's no rhyme or reason why that happens, but it seems like that's pretty common with a lot of people that I've talked to. um, that they have the same things going on like that. It's just strange. Oh, I'm doing that wrong here. All right. Well, thanks, Marianne. I enjoy it. I enjoy. Oops, I'm not doing this one right. I enjoy making the kits as long as stuff is not like super crazy in my world. I kind of enjoy it. It keeps me busy. I'm not a person that can just uh, not have anything to do. Um, I don't know. I just feel the need to keep my hands busy, and that's a good way. Otherwise, I'd be eaten with abandon. I'd have my hands in all the chip bags and all the other stuff that's out there. And this way I can have something constructive. Now, I just had those pliers in my, oh, they're in my hand. Oh my God. Tammy, I really like that ring you posted earlier on Francesca's site. It's very, very pretty. You do awesome work. I like to switch it up a lot with the stuff I do. I know a lot of you've already heard me say that before. I get bored doing the same things over and over and over again. And I admire the kind of passion some people have when they stick with, what they found that they really like, and they get really, really, really good at it. And they enjoy every minute of it. But I'm not like that. I like to make a fair amount of the same thing, and then I need to move on and find something else that interests me. It's like you got to have that rush, that excitement of finding something different, and that's kind of what this other project that I'm going to show you later is kind of like. Ooh, this is totally different. So, all right. But see, even if I'm done, but even if I wasn't done and say I want to add some more stuff on later after this demo is over, I can do that because of the way everything is just connected, with the jump rings. So that's kind of fun. All right, now for the pendant, I put in a piece of, it's just synthetic turquoise. It's just cheapy stuff that I bought a strand of. I don't know where I got it, probably at one of the trade shows. I'd like to say that it was this exquisite turquoise from a certain, desirable turquoise mine, but that's not it. that's not true. So it's just a piece of turquoise to play with, and I'm just going to take one of my head pins and let's see here, a few different beads. I'm losing my train of thought because I just thought of something else that I could put on here, but I don't have them in front of me. So much for that. All right, so the head, or the on the 3-inch head pin, I'm just going to randomly stick some small and larger seed beads on, a few. No rhyme or reason to the pattern, just that most of these pieces of turquoise have a rather large hole in them, so I don't want the pin to go through there. I want it to be able to have a little stopper there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the other end with some random seed beads. And I think maybe having a larger seed bead by that hole, yeah, and that's right. That keeps that from tipping over too much. This piece of turquoise. They were all randomly different in the kits, so, which I do have more kits available if anybody would want any. I made a significant amount of them, and so I still have a few left over. So I'm going to just end this here. Sometimes when the wire is too long, I like to cut a piece off because it just gets all gnarly in here. And just, oh. Well, that's a lousy wrap. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I can change it later. That one I made a messy wrap. So I still do that occasionally. But I wouldn't sell it like that. I'm not going to sell this one anyway because there's a bead I skipped in the Kumihimo weave, which just absolutely frustrates the heck out of me after you put that much time in it. But the silver one that I did was fine, which I was happy about. Okay, well, like I said, that's kind of messy. But we'll leave that one for now. So that's like the little focal point, or part of the focal point. And then you have this large jump ring. And we'll put a few other things together here. There's a little Swarovski 6mm turquoise well, it's a crystal, I guess, but it's a pearl. It's a crystal pearl. But it was just the right color, I thought, for this kit, so I included one of those in the little packs. So these are just random little dangles that I'm going to hook together for the little focal part. And there again, you can do whatever you want to do. You could hang different things. If you wanted to add more stuff, you could do that. It's just strictly whatever appeals to you. So then I will do, let's see here, just a little gathering of just assorted size 6/0 beads here. Just a little thing here. Different colors. Just to add that onto the little focal pendant. But you can take your time deciding what you want to hang if you want something different than what I've chosen. Again, that's a crappy wrap, but it'll do for right now. So as soon as I'm done with this demo, my hubby and I are going to go grab something to eat, and then I'm going over to the rehab facility because I need to. I need to see how the old guy's doing. All right, so I'm going to add these little thingies on here. You can add more if you wanted to do that. These aren't particularly lined up very well, but just to get the gist of it, then I'm going to put my jump ring through one side and through the other side. And close these up. that's that. This isn't the greatest little pendant thing, but hopefully you get the idea. So basically, the pendant is going to be in the middle, and then you're going to have the kumihimo on one side, the chain on the other side, and then that should slip over your head. Of course, what I have on is not very flattering to this, but if you had a nice solid top or whatever on here, and like I said too before, you can make the chain part longer if you want. You could make the kumihimo part longer if you wanted. So it's like just really a matter of what length you like to wear your necklaces. And I'm caught on my earring. Great. How did I do that? Hang on. Technical difficulties. I can't see when oh, here we go. Don't have eyes on the side of my head, unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately. But you get the idea. That's how it would be worn. So okay. Let's see. Any questions here? Yeah, I'm an artiste, all right. You're funny, Deb. Hey, Gwen. Oh yeah, that would probably look great with the hat. Yeah, that's good thinking, Marianne. Yeah, Donna, I go from one thing to another all the time. But like I said, I admire people that really stick with something and get really good at it. Those are the kind of people that like win awards and stuff. Not that I'm looking for that, but I'm just saying, um, they're just that good. That they do a great job. I am not that person. I just like to mess around. All right. What else? Debbie started a 24-inch necklace and found that I missed 3 beads. Yep. It happens, Debbie. I mean, I've been doing this a long time and I still, that happens. The least little bit of distraction that I get, I'm done for. If I can really focus, not watching the TV, not listening to anybody talk, if I can just get in my own zone, then I'm generally pretty good with that. So, Patty, I have tried to sew in a bead. It's never worked for me. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe I should get a marker and color the thread of the color of the bead that I skipped. I don't know. It just makes me feel like I didn't do good. So, if I would wear it for myself, I probably wouldn't have, as long as it's not like an eyesore sticking out. Um, I I don't have a problem wearing stuff like that, but to sell it, no. Okay, so I have the new earrings on that I showed earlier today because of my OCD. I had said, "Oh, I'll make a pair, when I have time or whatever," and I just decided, well, these go together pretty quick, so I just went ahead and made them. So these are sterling. Everything on here is sterling except the little teeny triangle spacers. These spacers are the same spacers that we used in the memory wrap bracelet, except they're smaller. They've just got a new size for the spacer beads. So I thought those would be kind of cute. Even the other bigger ones are fine for the earrings, but I just thought they were really cute. So, I got a few strands of those to play with. But I really like these in the sterling too. So these would go really nicely with the memory wrap bracelet if you wanted to make them. Um, you know, if I make kits, I don't know when I'll make them because things are kind of crazy right now. But and I don't even know what they would cost. The sterling naturally is going to be more money than the copper, but I'll probably put together some. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's a done deal or anything like that, but okay. So let's see what else. Uh, Thanks. Okay, so the other thing that I've been playing with, I don't know if I'll figure anything out for in time for the next demo. I have another project already figured out that I'm going to do for the next demo, but if I can figure out what to do with this stuff, um, this is more of a scrapbooker's thing, um, which I'm not really, but like if you do journaling and different scrapbooking and stuff, I think it could be up your alley. I don't know, but I saw an advertisement for these things on Facebook. It was just a sponsored ad that was just random, and these are rub-ons, which I really haven't had any experience with, but this is just one of the things. They come in different kinds of sheets, and of course, I had to buy several varieties. There's one you see I took some out of there for the thing I just held up, but they come in lots of different themes. So, I think they have lots of possibilities. I did do this one yesterday. I did a little uh, frame with glass and solder, the soft solder around the edges, and put a little hanger on there, a little jump ring to hang it. I think this is rather large for a necklace or a pendant, but I was thinking these would be cute little. They're not really sun catchers, but that kind of an idea, for something like that. So that's what I want to try to figure out how I can incorporate these into something fun, because I just like the look of this fabric and how kind of rustic it looks, and just there's just I love the colorful flowers and stuff, but they're rub-ons, so they're not. I don't know how I can preserve it. Put it that way. If it was meant to be in a journal or whatever, you could just, I don't know, fasten it in there, maybe glue stick it in there. I don't know, because I don't do that kind of stuff. But I thought if there was some kind of thing that I could do between glass, maybe as just like a little table decoration or a wall decoration, maybe something like that, that might be kind of fun to do something like that. So I'm going to try to think of things that I can come up with, some fun little project to do with these things. And then, and resin. I was thinking resin would be good too. Uh, if I could do like even a coaster or something like that and have these embedded in there. I thought that might be kind of fun. So that's something I still have to think out, but I was just kind of excited with it, and I got all my stuff. I think it was the day before yesterday. No, that would have been Sunday. I must have got it Saturday. And I've just kind of been thinking about, how I could use these so that they would be, I don't know, they're just really pretty. Yeah, resin I think would work, little sun catchers. Now, this was just one little piece of fabric, and there were two leaves on the sheet that were almost the same size. So I put one leaf on one, excuse me, one leaf on one side and one leaf on the other side, in case this thing turns, if you had it hanging or whatever. as opposed to just having a blank piece of material on the other side. So there's things to think about. They are not washable though. That's the thing. If you wanted to put it like on a purse or something like that, or I mean, I don't even know how that would work, but I mean, it does clearly say that they're water resistant, but they're not waterproof. So you'd want to use it in some capacity that they're not going to get ruined. So, but I don't know. I mean, I still have to think about that. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me going all the time, is just trying to figure out when I see something I like, how can I make that work for me? And then hopefully it'd be something that you guys would like too and get something out of it. So, well, Gina, that's an idea. I didn't think about that. Anyway, that's what I have in mind. Uh, I need to get some glass squares and some rectangles and different things cut and see if I can play around with that and solder them and come up with something. But I'd also like the coaster idea too. So, all right, guys. I think I've covered everything that I was going to cover. I've got the handout that I will put in the group page in just a few minutes, and then I will load the this video onto YouTube, and that way, if you need to replay it, you can replay it. Um, like I said, I still have kits. I still have silver Kumihimo kits. I have the fusion kits, a few of those. I have more of the silver because, like a dummy, I ordered like a crap ton more of beads and boards, or the the Kumihimo disc. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. So if there's anything you guys can use, just let me know. I'd be happy to do it. And then I'll be thinking about, pricing these out and seeing uh, what kind of kits that I could put together. All right, so I'll see you guys. Keep me in your thoughts. For my dad, especially, um, me for my sanity, and it's on a very thin, thin piece of ice right now, and hopefully things will be getting better soon. So, see you guys. Thanks for being with me. I always enjoy you hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.